we're back.
We watch Mortal Kombat. Let's get right into it. This is not a movie review. We're just talking about the good and the bad about this movie. So let's get right into it. For starters, before I get into the good and the bad, this movie had a budget of $55 million, which for this kind of movie is not a lot. Okay, so if you were going to compare it to like a Marvel Avengers movie, which has a budget of $200 million, you know, it's not really fair to compare. So what they did with $55 million, what you can do for an action movie is pretty limited. So let's start off with the good, okay? I thought the casting was good. I thought the casting of the characters, I played the video game originally, and I thought I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the casting in this movie. I thought Liu Kang was good. I thought Jax was good. Sonya, I like Kano, and I liked Sub-Zero and Scorpion. I think they did a good job casting these characters. Like, I felt like these characters really fit what I saw in the video games back in the day.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. They did a good job with the characters.
Yeah, and I thought like people that they cast, I was like, okay, you know, I could actually see these people being martial artists. Like they look like they fit the part of people that were into martial arts. Another thing that I really thought was good about this movie is Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero was he was gangster.
Yeah. From the beginning.
Like, he was like a Terminator. You know what I'm saying? Like I was thinking, man, this guy's really powerful. How are you even going to stop this guy?
Well, for me, he was the most powerful character in this movie.
Yeah, throughout the whole movie.
Throughout the whole movie, right? Like, it was really hard to know how you're going to beat this guy.
Right, and I thought the special effects that they did with Sub-Zero was amazing. You know, like whenever they walked into a building or anything like that, like you could see he froze the whole place. Or that one scene where he creates this like sword out of ice.
Right.
You know, that stuff like that we didn't see in the original movie from 1995 that I think was much better this time around.
Right.
I thought Liu Kang was cool. Liu Kang with the fire.
Right.
You know, in the original, 1995 original, the actor was very good, but, you know, they did very limited things in terms of special effects.
Right.
Because I think they were very limited in, you know, what they could do with special effects or maybe budget. But I thought Liu Kang was cool. It was interesting. He wasn't the main character in this movie.
No.
But I think I want to see more of this type. I want to see more of this version of Liu Kang in the future. Would you want to see more of Liu Kang?
Yeah, because I feel like he could have been the main character, but they didn't make him. And I know the previous movie, he was the main character.
He was the main character.
So, but he looked like he could have his own role, you know?
Yeah, he looks like he could have his own spinoff.
Yes.
I thought Kano was entertaining, the Australian character.
Yes.
You know, he kept it light and funny. He was a jerk, but he was entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
Also, the first 7 minutes of this movie I thought were amazing.
I think for me, in my opinion, that was like the most amazing part of this movie.
Yeah, it was the first 7 minutes of this movie was definitely the best for a couple of reasons. I like how they use like a real location. It looks like they were in a real setting somewhere in Japan or something like that. And the pacing and the story and the way they set up the story was great. It almost feels like it got shot by a different director or a cinematographer.
Yeah.
It felt like a different crew worked on the first 7 minutes than the rest of the movie.
And it's funny you say that. I just want to add really quick is that the whole movie was so different from the beginning, from the first 7 the 7 minutes. Like, I feel like, it just transported into a totally different movie.
Yeah, it didn't match the rest of the movie.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if they could have kept it in this natural setting throughout the whole movie, it would have been amazing. And the pacing of the story, that would have been amazing.
Yeah.
Also, I thought the Scorpion fight scenes, the ones with Scorpion, like in the beginning, at the end with Sub-Zero, that they were great.
Yes.
If they do a sequel, I can't wait to see more of Scorpion.
Yes.
Also, I thought there was plenty of action throughout the movie. There was a lot of action. A lot of bloody action. I know it was a Mortal Kombat movie, but Linda was having a hard time handling all the blood.
This is, I think, the most gory movie I think I have watched.
For an action movie.
Especially that scene where that woman gets cut in half.
Yeah.
I couldn't see the whole thing. Like, I had to close my eyes. I could not. It was just way too much. And I hope no one took kids to watch this movie.
Yeah.
Because it's a little too much.
It's a lot. It's not for the kids. And also, for a first-time director, when I found out it was the first time the director was making a full-length movie, I thought this was going to be a disaster. So it could have been a lot worse. You know what I'm saying? For a first-time director, I didn't think it was bad.
Okay.
So now, let's talk about the bad.
Yes.
The quality was not consistent in this movie. There's some scenes that are like good quality. There's some scenes that has like good quality special effects, and then there's some scenes that feel like a CW TV show.
Yeah.
You know, like a budget TV show. So throughout, you could tell they were kind of like being tight with the budget.
Right.
In some scenes, you know, and maybe they left some of the budget for the end of the movie, and the middle of the movie kind of suffered a little bit, and you can see that. I also felt the story, the whole movie felt a little short and rushed. Whereas the beginning 7 minutes had a good pace, I felt after those 7 minutes, it's like the story's kind of like speeding up and it's kind of all over the place. And then
I agree with you.
All these characters.
Yes. I had a hard time figuring out what was about this movie that it made me feel like I just didn't connect with it. I couldn't connect, like, just the first 7 minutes, I connected really well with the movie, and then after that, it's like all this came, all of this, and it just keeps happening super fast.
Yeah, it's like super fast because the first 7 minutes is about Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
Right.
And then right after that, it's like every other scene is like a new character, a new character, a new character. For somebody that's not familiar with Mortal Kombat, it might be a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So because this is a reboot, for a reboot, if they maybe would have narrowed it down to like a little less characters, but focused on them a little bit more, I think that would have been good.
Yeah, and the whole thing of I think they flew from like Earth to like this other round. It was just kind of silly. There was a lot of silly parts about this movie. I have to say, like a lot of silly parts, and that I think is what threw me off. But what gives this movie is the fact that the action was really good, the fighting in it was really good.
Yeah,
that it saves it.
Right, and it felt like since it felt like rushed, it felt like some scenes were cut out. It feels like there were missing scenes.
Yeah,
that could have connected one scene to the next. If that makes any sense. There was some character developments in, let's say, Sub-Zero and Scorpion, but then other characters were totally underdeveloped.
Yeah.
You know, like there's some characters that you really didn't know too much about. But what I do like is like they did a little bit of backstory with Sub-Zero and Scorpion, which in the first one, 1995, they really didn't do at all. But I feel like some of the other characters could have had more detail.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There was and what happened to the baby? What happened to the baby in the beginning?
I was just going to say that, and I didn't know if you want me to mention it, but the whole movie, I was like, okay, I just want to see what happened to her. Show her old. Show her and her age. Show her, something. Like, what happened to her.
I know that really bothered you.
It bothered me so much because this baby got hidden for a reason, right?
What happened to the baby?
Like, I thought they were going to create this huge, like, ninja, woman power, like, soldier, and nothing. Nothing. Like, the baby just disappeared.
So some of the story in this movie didn't make sense. Right? But overall, in spite of all its flaws, in spite of everything, it kept me entertained. You know? So I'm not going to say this movie's good or I'm going to say it's bad. I think the movie has good parts and it has bad parts. It's up to the viewer to, what expectations the viewer has. Like I said, this is a $55 million movie. Compared to other action movies, there's a very low budget. And what they managed to do with this budget, I don't think was bad.
Yeah. Well, all I have to say is don't ever say that I don't watch a guy's movie with you. Because this movie was definitely 100% a man's movie.
No. There's a lot of women that enjoy Mortal Kombat as well. This is not just a guy's movie. This is an action movie for anybody to enjoy.
I don't think
so. You know what? I hope this movie does well because I want to see more Mortal Kombat. I want to see Liu Kang get his own movie. And I hope, they come back with a better movie with a bigger budget and maybe a more experienced director.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? I mean, I know this will never happen, but can you imagine like a Zack Snyder director doing a Mortal Kombat with his visual style? That would be amazing. So
you never know. I mean, if the fans react well to this movie and they'll demand more, like more, Maybe a good director, you know. I'm not saying this director wasn't good. I'm just saying like maybe somebody else with a different vision would take it.
Right. I just felt like it was very clear in this movie that it had budget limitations. A big problem with this movie was the budget.
Yeah.
You could only do so much with that small budget. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Did you enjoy Mortal Kombat? Did you like it better than the original? Leave us a comment. And do you want to see more? See you guys later. Subscribe to the channel if you like these videos.
That like.
Peace out.